Hello, and welcome back to the 501c podcast. We're doing this in conjunction with Nonprofits First, and we want to welcome you back. This is a podcast that talks about the impact, stories, and background of all of the nonprofits right here in our very own backyard. And I am so excited today to have with us Julie Seaver, the CEO of the Compass Community Center. Welcome. It's so great to have you here.
Well, thank you, Jenell. I'm happy to be here and talk about our work today.
I know. This is going to be very exciting. If people don't know about Compass Community Center, I've followed you guys online for a long time, and it's a really special nonprofit. So I want everyone to know what the background is. How did Compass get started? How did you get involved? So we'll dive into all that. You guys have some amazing events that you do throughout the entire year. So I want to make sure everyone knows about those as well. So let's get started. I will let you maybe say kind of what the background is. How did Compass get started here?
Well, thanks for asking. Compass actually started out in 1988 as the Stop AIDS Project during the height of the AIDS epidemic.
Interesting.
And then a few years later, with the gift of a building here in West Palm Beach, we were able to become the LGBTQ community center of the Palm Beaches.
Okay.
And so our mission is actually to engage, empower, enrich LGBTQIA plus people and those impacted by HIV and AIDS. So we still have our roots in working with people impacted by HIV.
Yep.
But what really drives me every day is the people that are coming into the center, the people that we meet throughout the year in the community. You know, it's the young child that's scared.
Yeah.
It's the parent who doesn't know what to do or how to support their child. It's the elder who lost their partner of many years. So no matter what the reason is and how you're connected to Compass, if you are connected to us, then that means you're our people.
I love
that. So that's what drives me is
And
you're
that's
our
cool.
people.
Yeah, it's for everybody, which I love. Obviously, you know, inclusivity is the mainstay of the whole center. So what does that look like? If I come into the center, what does that look like? And can I just walk in, you know, if I need some type of support?
The great thing about Compass is our programs have grown and expanded over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what you're looking for and what your needs are, there really is truly something for everyone. So, you know, you might be coming into the center for to get tested for HIV.
Sure.
I think that the stigma and the misunderstanding is that HIV is for, you know, that it only affects gay men.
Sure.
And that's just not true.
Absolutely.
And we know what we know now, right?
Right.
And so maybe you're a parent that is seeking support for their transgender child, or a grandparent that's looking for support services for their family members, nieces, nephews, or maybe you're just an elder community member that is seeking to decrease your isolation and just get connected in the community again. So we invite you over for a cup of coffee.
I love that.
And instead of having you, you know, just get handed a program brochure, we walk with you.
Mm-hmm. And I like that. And I think that's important for people watching this to know that, you know, it started as kind of like a singular mission, and it's just evolved into like all these other programs that you guys offer to kind of change with the times, right? So, you know, why do you think the leadership of an organization like this that has to evolve, especially with the, you know, the climate that we're in and how things are changing so much, what's kind of like the main mission, or what's leadership's kind of focused from here on out now for moving forward? Like, where do you go from here? How do you grow?
Well,
What other things can we be doing, Julie?
It is true. We are in Florida, and it's not always easy to do this work here. But that's actually what drives me and drives the great team that I have at Compass. And that team includes 35 staff members, interns, volunteers, board members, community members. And, you know, when the climate gets tougher, that just makes us stronger.
Sure.
And our mission becomes more clear.
Right. How long have you been doing this with Compass?
So I started working for Compass in 2007, but I actually came in much earlier in the early 2000s, where I was seeking support services, and I came to the coming out support group.
Okay.
It was every Thursday night from 6 to 8 p.m. And it's just kind of amazing because I came in, I think it was about 2001,
Okay.
where I was looking for coming out support services. And it really saved my life. And then I started volunteering at the center and answering the phones and greeting the clients coming through the front doors. And because I knew what it felt like. And so there was a job opening position in development and fundraising, which I had never had any experience before. And so I applied. And so I guess you could say I came in and then I came out.
I love that story so much. That's amazing. And actually, I hear that so much when I have guests on. It usually starts out as, somebody that was a volunteer or came there themselves looking for something. And then they're like, wow, this place is awesome.
Right.
And they end up, they just never leave. So
That's
they
so
just kind of like
true.
work their way through the ranks. So I think that's awesome. So I think that's also important for people to know, like, you're the CEO. So they want to know, like, how did you get here? And it's very important. So I love the work that you're doing. So in your opinion, why is having a safe space like this so important right now, like a Compass? And how would I find you if I didn't know about Compass? How are people finding out about you guys to be able to walk through your doors?
Well, I mean,
Social media, of course.
no sneezing through Google, but yeah, we of course are found on the web. You can visit us online at compasslgbtcenter.org.
Okay.
And of course, we're across social media. We've got a great development team that's also really good at social media. So much better than when I was doing social media.
Well, also, Julie, I was thinking, like, think back in the day, like in the 80s, right? Like, how did people find these services? Like,
Flyers.
crazy, right?
Like we used to post flyers. We used to
downtown.
post in the newspaper.
Right. So different.
And, I think that, having such young generations, we have 6 decades working for Compass.
It's unbelievable.
We have kids that have grown and graduated from college and now are back at the center working as social workers, working in youth and families.
Yeah.
And it's just such an amazing time, to see them. But, it's important to have these safe spaces because we're doing more than just producing programs and helping people. We're creating a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And we know that works, right? Yep. And so I always like that saying that, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which are not bad words in our center. Diversity is getting asked to the party, right? And equity is seeing other people that look like you,
right?
Or that
at
are
the party.
that have the same values as you at the party. But inclusion and belonging, that's dancing at the party like you belong there.
I know that's like such a beautiful
I don't know
way
who
to
said
say
it, but every time I think about it, I always think back to that moment where I was like, yeah, that's what it really means.
It does make such a difference. And that's kind of like the one common thing when I talk to a lot of organizations that they've got like a solid group that just have stuck with them. And again, like generations keep coming back and getting involved. It's really that sense of family. So I love that this community exists. And I think it's just so important. It's you have to have this.
Absolutely.
So this makes me so happy. And one of the things I definitely want to talk about, let's go back to the word party. One thing I know Compass does is throw on amazing events.
So we do.
So I want to talk about, because I know that this episode is going to come out during Pride Month. So Pride Month is amazing in West Palm Beach, and there's some awesome events. So I want to make sure that we touch on these, and let's talk about these annual events, because I want people to be able to know about them, plan for them so they can get there to be able to support so that he can keep going from year to year. So let's talk about this.
Well, it's not just a party, although we do throw some great parties. You know how the gays do, right?
Guys do, right? I know.
But it's really more of a party with a purpose. It's we're here, we're not going anywhere, we're thriving. And it's creating safe spaces
Yes.
out there in the community. So most people know that Compass organizes and produces Palm Beach Pride.
Yes.
And so while June is Pride Month across
Correct.
the nation, or actually across the world, we host Palm Beach Pride, which is our 2-day festival, and then the parade on Sunday at the end of March.
Yes.
And then we do that because Florida's really hot in the summer.
Yes, it is.
And so we like to play in June at the Kravis Center for our annual Stonewall Ball event.
Yes.
Which is coming up
Let's talk about
June
that.
20th.
Okay.
2026. It's always a Saturday night.
Mhm.
And again, that party with a purpose. And so it never really was organized as a fundraiser, but more of a friendraiser, really to celebrate our pride, get our elected and appointed officials, mixing it up with our community members, and kind of blending the party and the celebration with the protest that the ball was named after, the Stonewall riots.
Let's talk about that, because I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, where did the name Stonewall Ball come from? So
we took that, right?
I like it. I like it. It makes it more meaningful. So I love that. Okay, so that's going on, you said June 20th.
Yeah, and so 2 years ago, we started having it. For many, many years, we used to host Stonewall Ball at the Harriet Himmel Theater.
Okay.
Which was beautiful. And I love the new City Place. And
oh my gosh, yeah.
the Eataly.
Yes.
It's been in there. I just love what the growth West Palm Beach
Absolutely.
has seen.
It's very exciting.
But we can't host events there anymore, inside the old Harriet Himmel Theater.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they've redone and renovated. It's a historical building.
Yeah, so.
And we were very lucky to host it there for almost 20 years. And so we have moved Stonewall Ball at the Kravis Center, and we were really excited because it was the first LGBTQ event that the Kravis Center
Are you
has
serious?
hosted. I know. I mean,
That's
the gays,
huge.
we're all in the theater
I'm just saying.
and the arts
I
for a long
find that
time.
I'm shocked by that, actually, but
that's
a good feather in your cap.
It's a wonderful event, and of course the team at the Kravis Center are wildly supportive.
Awesome.
And as I said, it's a party with a purpose, and we get to celebrate how far we've come, always keeping in mind the work that we have yet to go.
Totally. Yes. I could not agree with you more. Okay, let's touch on a couple quick things, and then I want to go back to that point about moving forward and what's in store. So let's talk about the pageants. And we talked about Pride. That's in March. The pageant. Let's talk about that. And the prom. Pageant and prom.
So
yes.
So we host our Mr. and Miss Palm Beach Pride pageant. That's for community members to strut their stuff.
Which is so fun. I remember seeing like all the pictures and stuff last year.
I know.
And I was like, dang it, why was I out of town for this? It was amazing.
So this past February, we hosted our 10th one. We're skipping the COVID years, right?
Yeah, we don't talk about those.
But it was a reason for the community to gather and honor and celebrate, some of those iconic figures in our community, and to have a Mr. and Miss Palm Beach Pride represent not just Pride, but Compass's programs and services for the rest of the year. And, do
they serve as like an ambassador then kind of for the year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we always host like a building and program tour before contestants and candidates that are running for the pageant. Yeah. And the Lake Worth Playhouse hosts us, which is right down the street from the center.
Love that place.
It is amazing, and their team is amazing. They're also a very well-run volunteer organization. Yeah. So it's very close to our hearts to host it there. And they have a beautiful stage. And they just renovated their whole theater. The summer camp I've heard is amazing.
Incredible. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but when I went, they did the year she was there was Lion King Jr. and they went on, and I was like, this is like a real like Broadway show for like a summer camp. I mean, they had
And they
it
don't
down.
just work with kids.
No,
they work with
everybody.
adults,
And it's a beautiful theater.
beginners, and they don't just have, auditions for actors or singers to
It
audition.
could be
They
anybody.
have backstage people.
Yes.
They teach you everything.
Totally. Set design, the costume making.
It's amazing.
I was blown away. I was like, this place is awesome. And then every time we go to the Lake Worth Street Painting Festival, we walk by there and say hi.
I think it was really important for us to begin to host Mr. and Miss Palm Beach Pride pageant because, going back to the Stonewall riots, it was the entertainers, the performers, the drag queens, the young queer kids. They're the ones that actually, said, we're not doing this anymore.
Sure.
Like, we belong in these spaces and we're not going anywhere.
Right.
And so, having, ambassadors to serve us throughout the year
awesome.
has been really fun. And the equality prom, let me just tell you, so we used to host it in our center. So we have a very large ballroom in our community center. Of course, we have a ballroom.
I mean,
it's really fancy.
I would expect nothing less, for sure.
Right? And so...
right in our center.
Yeah. Awesome. And so we used to host it in our center, but we had so many kids coming to our equality prom that we outgrew the ballroom in our center. And so we've hosted it at different nonprofit community partners over the years.
Cool.
And we're searching for a new space because the Science Center is going under this huge capital campaign and renovation.
A lot of exciting stuff going on.
Hopefully we'll be back, but it's having these community partnerships with other nonprofits has been so integral in helping us grow the equality prom. But that prom is just such a rite of passage.
It is.
And we were having kids coming into our programs and services saying, they're telling us that girls have to wear dresses down to here and boys can only wear suits and, so we just wanted to create a space where kids just could come how they are and with whoever they want. And it's a very safe space. And so everybody supports our kids' programs and prom. It's really easy to do. So this year, we're being sponsored by the National It Gets Better campaign.
Okay.
And so this year, the kids, they have their own prom committee.
That's awesome.
So they have to pick the venue.
Yeah.
So they're shopping around with a venue. We are setting up dates to get with another great nonprofit, Prom Beach.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Prom Beach.
They're
so
awesome
they all
too.
go shopping for their complimentary suits, dresses, costumes. And we usually host that in May or at the end of May to get ready for those.
I mean, how much has that grown?
Kids. I mean, it's been crazy.
For 10 years that's been going on?
And they've been very inclusive of our kids, being able to present to the world and who they are.
Kids though. I mean,
I know.
And they're so cute too. And I love the prom, like the prom closet. They do awesome stuff.
Yeah. So we're getting ready for equality prom and hoping that we can support this year's graduating seniors from our programs. This will also be, I believe, our 10th annual Lavender graduation. Graduation is another rite of passage.
Yes.
And so we had some students that didn't feel comfortable walking across the stage. Sure. Maybe it was they were announced with their not preferred name because there's a lot of that going around.
These are all things that and people don't know. Like
the
struggles and the challenges of things like this. Like it's important for people to understand that and know why these programs are so important and why they're so critical.
So we get to champion them and walk across the stage and be there for their moment.
So
it's
cool.
Just been great.
Oh my gosh, it makes me want to cry. I don't think I could come to the graduation when I feel like.
They have this whole rainbow sand ceremony. It's really powerful.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look for that. Do you guys post pictures of that online too?
Well, we post pictures of the backs of heads with the graduation hats and feats.
That's so fun. I love that. So, beyond all these events, which are crucial and critical, what key programs and services do you really want the listeners to know about? Because there's so many, but I want people to know and understand like the main ones, the critical ones that are so important that kind of are the heart of the center.
Right. And thank you for that. I love this question mostly because people do mostly know us for our big pride events and celebrations. But those outreach events, that's like the front porch.
Totally.
Right? Yes. That's the welcoming front porch for our people to come in and see what we're all about.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes for the rest of the year, we are, providing life-saving services and doing really life-saving work.
Yeah.
Compass saved my life over 25 years ago, and we've expanded into growing our mental health and behavioral support services.
Yes.
We're still, at the heart of our beginning of our history. We're still working with people who are living with HIV. When it comes to HIV, undetectable is untransmittable, has been a game changer for us. And so as long as people have access to affirming healthcare providers and they can maintain and be consistent in adhering to their medications, people can live very long and healthy lives.
Very long, healthy lives.
But doing that education and prevention work for our young people, because that is our most increasing demographic for those that are contracting HIV.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the kid mentality of, well, things can't happen to me.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was pretty invincible when I was their age.
Of course.
And I didn't know crap.
Of course.
But that's okay.
No, none of that. Well, everyone thinks they know everything.
I really did think that I know everything. I should call my mom after this show and just apologize for everything. But yeah, it's really important for kids to be able to learn how to be themselves and providing a safe space where they can socialize, outside of the screen.
Totally. So going back to you as a teenager back in the day.
Yeah.
What message would you give an LGBTQ plus teen watching right now that it doesn't know where to go? They need a safe space. They feel isolated. What would you tell them?
You're not alone. It doesn't matter if you are questioning your sexual orientation or your gender identity, or if you want to ask your healthcare provider very deeply personal questions that can be embarrassing to talk to our parents about, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
We're here for you.
Could be for adults too.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so we're here for you. And even if you yourself never need our programs and services or have a need to walk in the door, maybe someday a child, a grandchild, a niece, a sibling,
undoubtedly, yes, somebody,
a neighbor, somebody is going to look at you as that safe person to be able to come out to and ask questions. And even if you don't know what to do, the one takeaway is that you will know that Compass is in downtown Lake Worth.
Absolutely.
And we can help.
And that's totally, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, like if I am a parent, but if my child came to me, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if my child came to me and said, I have these questions, and I wouldn't know where to go to answer it. I love that Compass is there. To your point, it could be your child, it could be your brother, it could be your sister, it could be anyone in your family, a friend, a neighbor that just needs information or like somebody to guide them somewhere safe to go. So
absolutely,
I love it. I love everything that you guys are doing.
And everyone that works on staff, including all of our mental health therapists, they all provide these services and care through a trauma-informed lens. And if you need us, we are there for you. It doesn't matter which programs and services, because we all provide these services and having these tough conversations through the lens of we have these same life experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is so important.
It's huge. And I think it's just so good. Okay, so for any allies of the community listening in and hearing what we're saying, what would you tell them is something meaningful for the community as just a friend of the LGBTQ plus community? What can allies do to really make an impact for their friends?
Well, allies are very much important to me. I
Yes.
mean, first of all, my parents are allies.
Mhm.
It took two of them to make one of me.
Yes.
And so meaningful allyship isn't quiet, it's active,
Yeah.
right? And the kids, I learn something new every single day from these kids. So the kids these days, and the age of kids that grows as I get older, the kids these days are using the term accomplice.
Oh.
Which I thought was strange because at first I was like, well, accomplice has like a negative connotation to it. And they were like, oh, Miss Julie, no, you can't be just an ally. You have to be an accomplice. You have to have a stake in this game.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I understand.
Yeah, I'll hear you.
So, being an ally or an accomplice
Mhm.
looks like speaking up when it's
Yes.
easier to stay silent.
Yep.
Using your voice or encouraging others to use their voice,
Right.
even when it's hard,
Mhm.
even when it's scary to do so, and using your voice even when others are not in the same room.
Okay. I love that. And I think that's so important for like everyone that's listening because, I know I even have friends that are like, how do we support friends or family members, in this community? I'm like, that's a great question. I'll ask Julie when she comes on
And
my podcast.
really what I want to impart is that, like, for instance, I will never know what it's like to wake up every day in the wrong body as
Sure.
a transgender person.
Right.
And I don't have to completely understand what that journey is like to be able to accept people for who they are.
Right.
And I believe people who tell me who they are.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that we all should. And at the end of the day, all of us want what all of us want. We want the pursuit of joy and health and wellness and happiness for our families and our
Yes.
friends. We all want the same thing.
Absolutely. I love it. What do you want people to take away from today's conversation at the end of the day? And what do you want them to know about Compass, about the mission, life,
Well,
anything?
like I said, I just want to make sure that people are not alone, and we do need our straight allies, because parents are coming into the center. New parents are coming into the center every single day, asking for support for their niece, their nephew, their children, and maybe their aging parents.
Yeah.
And what does that look like?
Sure.
Because we're getting to the point in our life, like I'm getting to the point in my life and my wife's time where now we're, that sandwich generation where we're not only caring for our children, but we're also caring for our
Yes,
parents.
me too.
And that's a really tough time,
Yeah.
especially in these challenging times.
Mhm.
So, just being an ally is just about being consistent, and not just during Pride Month.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Not just during June.
Right.
We're so much more than beyond just the rainbow, right?
Yeah.
So just being there for people who need someone to talk to and someone to listen.
Yeah.
We don't have to fix everything for everyone.
Right.
And we can't be all things to all people, which is why I'm so grateful for Nonprofits First, because they have educated us in not only bringing us to compliance issues, because they change.
I can't even imagine.
I mean, once you learn the multitude of rules and
then the next year it's like everything changes.
everything's changing. So we're not focusing on this, we're focusing on that.
Yeah.
But also, the art of collaboration, nonprofits, no matter if it's Compass or the Playhouse or any Habitat for Humanity,
Yeah.
any nonprofit that is doing such good work, especially here in Palm Beach County, we have over 9,000 nonprofit organizations
We're just talking
in
about this.
Palm Beach County
It's
alone.
Unbelievable.
We can't be all things to all people.
Correct.
We're not going to survive unless we share resources,
Yes.
we strategize, we collaborate together, and Nonprofits First makes that all possible.
They do. And that's so important. And I think that a lot of the most successful nonprofits that I get the pleasure of speaking with, they've figured that out. that collaboration piece, because why would you have 10 different nonprofits doing the same thing when you could collectively have the power to get together and also like get, all these other organizations that like, like for the prom, like that just fit right in. It just makes the whole community better.
Absolutely.
Which
Absolutely.
I think is so cool. So
we just finished submitting our GROW grant, which is possible through nonprofits first. And so, being able to educate and, invest in the next generation of leadership at Compass, nonprofits and their grant opportunities have also been a huge part of that, because I can't teach these kids and the younger generations. My whole goal is to build something that works when I'm not in the room and long after I'm gone. And this next generation, like, watch out.
Yeah,
they are coming.
Watch out. Well, it's been truly amazing to have you here. I've been following Compass probably since as long as I've lived here, and it just makes me beyond happy about all the things that you guys do, and that we have such a strong organization for people to come to and to support the community.
And you need to get your sequins and your dancing shoes on.
I know.
Because Stonewall Ball is June 20th, and I want to see you.
My birthday's the 25th, so it's a perfect time.
I forgot to tell you, we're throwing you this huge birthday party. It's at the Kravis Center.
Yeah, so everyone needs to come to that and make sure that they support. Of course, you can always find more information online. Follow, like, share, and so happy to have you here today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you next time on 501c TV. Thank you.